Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
All right. Great. Welcome. So today is ITS 454, and it's our lab session. Okay, so the plan for today is I'm just going to kind of assign the second part of the lab, and then after that, I'm going to leave the session open for you guys to ask questions about the lab. You know, if you're stuck in some place, you can always share your screen, and we can go over. I know it's, and then everyone can view, and then that way maybe you'll have similar problems. Okay. So are there any questions before I get started? All right, so no questions. Okay, so you should be seeing my the PDF, correct? You're seeing the PDF?
Yep.
That is correct.
All right, so basically I was talking with some students and what I think I'm gonna do with this lab is I'm gonna break it up into two labs actually. So there's gonna be two drop boxes, and that way you can get more points for it, right? You can get, by it being two, by it being two labs, basically, it's worth more. So so let's see. So basically, you will submit. Close this. There we go. You will submit in one Dropbox. You will submit everything that you complete up until here, right? So this is the first one, just before 2.3, encrypting the tunnel. Okay, so that's going to be, let's call it a, part A, and you submit that on a Dropbox. Remember, I'm giving you guys until the end of the semester, pretty much. I know some of you have already completed this, and so, you can submit it. I'll try to create the Dropbox tonight so you can start submitting it tonight, but it's not due tonight. Okay, so for those of you that haven't finished, I'm keeping this open until the end of the semester. All right, but try to complete this first, and then once you've completed that, then just start working on the second part, which is going to be task 3, encrypting the tunnel. All right, so basically the idea is you've created you've created the connections, you've created the tunnel, but it's an unencrypted tunnel. And so now you have, once you can send, the packets can be sent, but they're being sent in clear text, if you will. So people, if they capture them along the way, they would be able to see the contents, right? And so obviously that's where cryptography comes in. Now you have to do the encryption. Now, assuming you've done all the routing and everything correctly, you have the tunnel, the packets know how to get from one point to the other, and really all that remains now in this task, starting here in encrypting the tunnel, it's really focusing on the code, inside the C programs, right? So here, hold on, why is this not writing? Okay, just give me a second. This is not working. Give me a second, guys. Okay, can you see the PDF again? Sorry, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine.
have to close that. All right, so we're back here. I don't know. Okay, I don't, usually I've been able to write on these PDFs, haven't I? Thought I did.
You could always use the annotate.
The what?
The annotate from Zoom, like how I did it.
Yeah, but I thought I was, oh, there we go. What did I do there?
That's me.
Oh, that's you?
Yes.
Okay, how did you do that?
On Zoom at the top, it's got view options, at least on my side, and then you've got Zoom ratio, request remote control, and then annotate is what I've got. So
Oh, okay.
annotate should work for you, hopefully.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Thanks. That's really great.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so now, so what I was saying is in the first part, so this part going up that way, right? That's what, you know, your first assignment is. Okay, so you'll be creating a, I'll create a Dropbox and then you will submit this part. And then after that, you're gonna work on the encryption part. So that's really, you know, in the code, in the C files, you know, you will now perform using TLS and SSL. So using TLS and SSL, you're going to basically use that code, that, you know, those libraries or functions to be able to do the encryption part, okay? And so that's really, you know, what you're gonna work on here. Okay, now I don't necessarily need you to do all of this, so I get that this is, you know, quite a bit, it's a lot. And we're, you know, at this point in the semester, we're running out of time. Okay, so we're running out of time. And so therefore, you know, we just really have 1 week left, right? And this would probably take a long time. So what I think, you know, the way that we can do this is that, you know, you downloaded 2 files, right? Or 2 zip files, right? You downloaded 2 zip files. And for
Yeah.
problem, you've been using the zip file that's only VPN, you know, VPN, but unencrypted. And then you have a second file, and that's called I think the name is TLS. All right, so really, you know, just use TLS, okay? And I would say for this assignment, just try to implement, you know, just try to, I'm pretty sure all the code is there, and really all you have to do is kind of, in your lab report, run it, and then indicate, you know, okay, this part is for the pillars, right? So you want to say this part was for confidentiality, this would be for authentication, this would be, you know, and just try to identify a few of the pillars, okay? So I really want to leave it open-ended so that, you know, because we really don't have that much time to try to implement all of this. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really, you know, definitely what I'm looking for is that you complete this part, you know, the part before cryptography. I'm looking that you complete it, you know, and do everything basically, okay? But after that, for task 3, 2.3, which is encrypting the tunnel, just use the TLS code, provide it, run it. Maybe the 2 things that I would like to see in your lab report is some Wireshark, right? Captures that show, hey, here's evidence that the if I don't use TLS, the packet looks like this, unencrypted. And now here, once I use TLS, here's evidence that it's encrypted. And then basically, you know, read through the code and point out, okay, this part is for the, you know, the certificate, and this part is for that. I mean, all of it should be there, okay? So we're gonna basically take that approach, given that we don't really have that much time left in the semester. Okay, but I do want to read through this. Okay, so I'm just going to read through this. So I'm going to read through this, you know, just so that we have an idea of. Okay, great. All right. So just so we have an idea of what we're doing, right? So encrypting. So basically, as I said, the code is provided and it's in that TLS zip file. Okay, so try to run it. Basically, you know, you'll use the exact same routing rules and everything. You just now have to use the encrypted TLS zip files. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this problem. So encrypting the tunnel. And this, as I said, this is exactly what you covered in 350. And that's why I'm not so, this is more of a review because you really should know all of these principles anyway. It's just that now you're applying them to VPN, okay? So let's read through this. So at this point, we have created an IP tunnel, all right? And that's what you completed in the previous step, but our channel is not protected, right? And that's the whole idea. Only after we have secured this tunnel can we call it a VPN tunnel. As you probably know, it's not encrypted right now. This is what we're going to try to achieve in this task. To secure this tunnel, we need to achieve two goals. And you guys know this: confidentiality and integrity, okay? So confidentiality is achieved using encryption. The contents that go through the tunnel are encrypted and nobody can read them, okay? Integrity, as you know, and as we discussed on Tuesday, the integrity goal ensures that nobody can tamper with the traffic, okay, in the tunnel or launch a replay attack. Integrity can be achieved using message authentication or MAC, all right, MAC. And you know that, MD5, hash, all of that. Both goals can be achieved using the transport layer protocol, TLS, which is what we started discussing on Tuesday. So I really just have one lecture left, and which is going to be next Tuesday, and I will really just finish up TLS. Okay, so I started it briefly because I was more concerned with the tunneling part on Tuesday, but we're gonna finish. I'm just gonna do a lecture on TLS, wrap that up, and then that will be your last topic in this course, right? It'll be your last topic and the last topic for the exam. So as you know, typically TLS is built on top of TCP. Now, as you are aware, the current scenario that we ran is over UDP. The sample VPN client and server programs in task 2 use UDP. So we first need to replace the UDP channel in the sample code with a TCP channel, right? So just be aware of that. And, if anything, look at the code, just to kind of note that. And then we're going to establish a TLS session between the two ends of the channel. All right, so that's going to be between the two pieces of code. Now, as you know, a sample TLS client and server program are provided in the zip file. Right, are provided in the zip file, and you guys know that you can download that from the website. And then all the instructions should be the same. You're going to run make. You might need to modify some of the code, a few things in there, but for the most part, it should be all good. All right, so now, additionally, as you know, in encryption, additionally to confidentiality, to confidentiality and integrity, one big part of encryption is authentication, right? And you can see that here. So authentication of the VPN server. Right, so authenticating the VPN server. So before a VPN is established, before a VPN is established, the VPN client must authenticate the VPN server. Okay, you know, and we talked about that as well in 350, right? So you're making sure that the server is not a fraudulent one. Okay. On the other hand, the VPN server must authenticate the client, the user, making sure that the user has the permission to access the private network. Now, this, if we were using our ASA, this is what where we would have used Active Directory. Active Directory. Okay, this is where we would have used this. In this lab, what you're using is basically, you're using the pass WD and the shadow files, which, you know, in any Linux system, that's what holds all the user accounts and passwords, right? And so, you know, that the lab takes this approach. We would have taken the Active Directory approach, but, you know, that would have been a simple configuration through a GUI interface. So my point is, the principle is the same. Okay, the principle is the same. It's just that here, you know, you're using different technologies. In fact, the ASA could have a list of internal users as well. So, you know, basically doing this is like using the ASA's internal list of users instead of, you know, trying to use Active Directory services authentication. So in this task, we implement the server authentication, and the client authentication is in the next task. Are there any questions so far, guys?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet? All clear.
No. Looks great.
All right, a typical way to authenticate servers, as you know, is through the use of public key certificates, right? So PKI, we learned this. You guys know how to do this from your labs in 350, right? So it's pretty much the same thing. The VPN server needs to first get a public key certificate from a certificate authority. All right, remember that that whole process of signing.
怎么还讲 VPN？ 我的天哪！
All that process of signing the keys and everything needs to happen, okay? When a client makes a connection to the VPN server, the server will use the certificate to prove it is the intended server. Okay, the HTTPS protocol uses this approach to authenticate web servers, ensuring that you are talking to an intended web server, not a fake one. Okay, so this is pretty much everything from 350. So in this lab, which, you know, it's, I guess the, you know, when it was set up, it's called mini VPN. So in this lab, mini VPN should use a method to authenticate the VPN server. Okay, we can implement an authentication protocol such as TLSSL from scratch, but fortunately, OpenSSL takes care of that for us, right? And you guys already know that. We used OpenSSL extensively in 350. So we just need to configure our TLS session properly so OpenSSL can conduct the authentication automatically for us. All right, so basically that should all be in the code that you'll be using in that TLS zip file, right? And you just need to figure out a few things. So there are 3 important steps in server authentication, okay? And this is important, and this is actually something that you also did in 350. You have to verify that the server certificate is valid, okay? You know, so, you know, date, things like that. Then you verify that the server, that the server is the owner of the certificate. If you remember, that basically meant, you know, verifying that the server is the owner of the certificate. You want to check, that's where you do the checking of you authenticate basically, right? So verifying that the server is the owner of that certificate. And then number 3 is verifying that the server is the intended server. Okay, for example, if the user intends to visit example.com, okay, we need to ensure that the server is indeed example.com and not another site. So you remember that the name is usually in the certificate. Because you calculate a hash of that file, no one can tamper with the name, right? And then you know that that is signed by the private key of a certificate authority, and so you know that that certificate authority is vouching for that certificate. So this is the way, if you remember, how you can corroborate that that's in fact the name. I want to go to example.com, the certificate says example.com, I check the hash hasn't been manipulated, so the integrity checks, and the certificate authority, which is, you know, somebody trusted, says also that this is that this belongs to server, and so therefore you're authenticated. Does that make sense? Do you guys remember that whole process?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so that's really what's happening here in the authentication. All right, and you know, there's no difference. That's my whole point. Really, what I want to stress: there's no difference between the concepts that we discussed in 350 and what is happening here. Is the exact same process. So it's only we're writing now the code to make this VPN work. So really, what like I said, all the code should be there. So really, in your lab report, just point out, kind of put screenshots, arrows and things like that, a little bit of write-up. Please point out what lines of code in your program carry out the above verifications, right? So that, this is really the way we're going to approach this part of the lab, okay? Because, like I said, we don't have much time to do a lot of things, okay? And you're not going to do a demonstration. We don't have time for that. You're just going to submit a lab report, right? So in your lab report, you need to show two different cases regarding the third verification: a successful server authentication where the server is the intended server, and a failed server authentication where the server is not in the intended server. And that just relates to the fact that the name, right? So you want to try different names. Okay, one that is the name on the certificate and one that isn't the name on the certificate. Right, and then so that's basically after that you can follow the instructions here. It's going to give you the details on how to run it basically, and here's how to do it for two things. Here, this is just client. Remember that you can connect to the server, but you can also connect to other hosts, like you connect to google.com or something like that. So you can follow these instructions here basically to test out the VPN client, the TLS client. Okay, and so just follow these instructions as well. It's going to give you the information on how to obtain the certificates and everything else. And that's it really, guys. I really, we're not going to do this part supporting multiple clients, so we're not going to do that. As far as the authentication, I'm going to leave that as bonus points, and I really just want you to worry about running the code and then trying to do the authentication, all right, with the certificates, because that in itself will take a little bit of work. And, as I said, we're coming to the end of the semester. All right, so that's the whole, so again, this problem here, supporting multiple clients, is basically because, I'll just talk about it. So a VPN, you have a VPN in the school and all of you can connect to it at the same time, right? So all of you can connect to it, but I'm definitely not gonna ask you to do that. Okay, so don't worry about that. And then this part, authenticating the VPN, this is what I said would be the this is what I said would be the authentication with the shadow file. So I'm gonna just mark here, I'm gonna leave this as bonus points, okay? Bonus points. All right, so really all I want you to work on, which will be sufficiently difficult, is the this part, okay? Of try to do the authentication using the TLS code. Okay, so basically task 4 is the only one that you should do. Okay, so this one you should do. All right, and now let's just look at the rest of the PDF. Okay. Right, and then after that is just guidelines. So I definitely suggest that you read through this. These are not tasks that you need to complete. Instead, this is just information to help you to complete the lab. All right, so I do recommend that you read through it, and it'll help you to complete it. All right, so this part of the lab then, for those of you that have worked, that have completed task 2, so please start working on this. And then, that's really all I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of assign that second part, right? Remember, I'm going to create a separate Dropbox for that. And now with the rest of the time that I have today, I really want to make this like a lab session that we would have had at the, in the classroom. I've had some people came to my office hours today, right? And we were able to resolve the first part, the whole routing stuff. And so I really want to, if you have issues, please go ahead and ask. So at this point, I'm going to open up the floor. So the assignments are assigned. And at this point, I'm going to open up the floor for questions. And you can share your screen if you want, and we can go over any problems that you have with the routing. Make sense? So how many of you have completed the lab? Maybe I can ask that. Daniel, did you complete the
first part, the lab A? Yes.
Yeah, the routing and the creating the tunnel, but just without encryption.
Yeah, I was trying to do it a second time, and I was having some difficulty. But I'm still working on. I guess I don't have to do it a second time because I got it the first time. I got my report, but I wanted to try again to see if I could get it again.
Okay. Who else? Let's see. Wen Liang. Have you completed the first part?
Yes, we completed the first part.
Who is that? Singli?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Trevor, you completed it?
Yeah, I'm done.
You got the telnet to work and everything?
Yeah, everything all worked. So
Okay.
is that something that, did you say that you opened up today or?
I'm gonna open, I haven't opened it yet. I'm gonna open up the Dropbox after this session, and you can submit if you'd like, but I'm gonna leave it open until pretty much like the week of presentations, okay?
Okay, perfect.
So then now you can start working then on the encrypted part, okay?
Awesome, thank you.
Let's see, Hao Fang?
Yes, I'm here.
Where are you on this lab?
I finished this lab yesterday with Daniels.
Okay, so you're done with it then. Okay, that's great. So have you completed the encrypted part?
No.
No, okay, so you're gonna work on that. All right, Corey Myers?
Professor, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this something that we submit as a group too, or is it, would this be an individual thing?
I think I had said that you can, the whole semester you've been working on group project, right? So you can help each other out. But what I had said is please submit, even if you worked as a group, please submit an individual report. It just makes it easier for me to grade.
Okay.
That way.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. So are there any questions?
No.
No, really? So all of you, Alicia, did you complete that part of the lab?
The first part, yeah.
Oh, you have. Okay. So you got it to work and everything?
Yep.
Oh, okay, great. Excellent. Wow. So everyone's good then.
No,
I mean, I haven't gotten mine to
I
work.
haven't completed mine either.
Oh, okay. So you guys have. Okay. Who is that? Susanna and Kyle?
Yes.
You guys are working together. So you want to share your screens?
Oh,
I'm not sure if we can share screens at the same time.
No. Just one of you.
Kyle, that'd be cool because you and I are stuck at almost the same point.
So what I I'm trying to make this a lab, right, and help you as if I was in the classroom and I'm looking at your computer. So I've been able to help other students that way. It works. So what I need you to do is somebody would have to share their VMware workstation and have their 3 VMs already open so that, VPN server, VPN client, and the host V. And then we can look at all the network adapters. We can look at all the routing and everything and hopefully get it to work.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I don't have anything fired up right now, so you'll need to give me a minute or two to get it fired up.
Okay. Well, whoever's ready. I mean, Evan, how about you? Evan Brady? Or Wen Liang, have you guys started working on the crypto part? Sing Lee, have you guys started working on the crypto part?
Yes.
And how's that going?
We are trying to do that part.
You're trying to do that part?
Yeah.
Have you completed any of it or you're just starting with it?
Oh, we're starting.
Just starting. Okay, yeah. So just start with it. As I said, this is the last thing of the semester, given that, we just have next week. I remind you, your presentations are in 2 weeks, right? Your risk
Yeah, our
and
presentation
your topic.
that are barely started.
Say that again?
Nothing.
Okay. All right.
So for the presentations,
Who is this? Corey?
yes.
Sure.
I saw on the calendar it said the 28th and the 29th. Are we presenting both projects on one day, or are we splitting it from one project?
We can split it. It probably makes sense to split it, However, really, this is the, I'm going to give you, you can present whichever topic you want on Tuesday and whichever topic you want on Thursday. So I'm not going to make it.
And is this presentation
Hmm?
in all together like a normal class would?
Yeah,
or are we doing in time slots?
I think, this is, so I think I had said we're going to do them in YouTube, but actually now that I've learned how I'm learning how this Zoom works, I think we could just have a session like this. And then let's say you, Corey, and your group, you share your screen, right? So somebody shares and then show your demo and everything. And then all 3 of you can talk, right? So I think that would work.
All right.
I believe. So we can try it, certainly, see how it goes.
Okay.
And then, okay. Nathan Solich, I know you were having some issues with this lab.
He actually doesn't have a mic right now,
He doesn't have
so
a mic.
he just
Okay.
has headphones.
Okay, that's fine. So how's it going with the project? So I want to get, I want to see where you guys are. I get, I know it's like extraordinary times. So how's it, the risk assessment should not be difficult. That, I think that plays like a really easy project for you. I get that implementing the anomaly detection. Or you know what, honestly, what I could even do is just make this VPN, the encrypted part of this lab, your project. I mean, at the end of the day,
That would be really great if you do that, honestly.
if I do
I
that,
think
but
I would
only
like that also.
the encrypted part, right? Not the tunneling part.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You
fair.
guys want to do that?
Yes, please.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. No,
This is giving us nightmares.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm trying to keep the semester exactly as it would have been, but
It's a little crazy right now.
let's do that. Let's do that. So now I'm changing this again, right? So then your last lab will be until here, right? Before task 3. That's your last lab. Get the tunnel working. And then let's make this 2.3 task 3. All that encrypt, as much as you can do of that, that can be your project as well. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, great. Let's do that.
So does that mean that something's going away?
The risk assessment you still need to do because that's easy enough, right? But,
Okay.
before, what I had said is you would complete this lab and then extend it, like doing physical hardware or something, but that may be too ambitious for this semester.
Or impossible.
And so let's just make actually task 3, encrypting it, be the project.
Perfect.
Or if you want to do still want to do the anomaly detection, do that. That's fine too. So now this is not the point is this is no longer required. You can pick a project and this could be your project. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So I'm also trying to adjust to this, so I think that's a good solution.
Does that mean there's only one thing for us to present now?
No, there's still 2 things.
Just one of them would be the encrypt, and one would be.
Let me switch to the whiteboard and let me re-say this. Okay, so Okay, so I'm on the whiteboard now. Are you guys seeing the whiteboard?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, initially, I had said the following. You had the VPN, this lab, right? That was going to be a lab homework. This is going to be homework, a lab assignment. And then I had said you have a project, right? Because, this whole situation took away our practical exam on the Cisco equipment, right?
Right.
Unfortunately. So now, usually I always do the practical and the risk assessment, the RCM. And you would do this at the university with information services. But that went away. And so because that went away, I had to adjust somehow. And so what I ended up saying is still do the RCM, but make up a company. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then I had said, okay, there's no practical anymore. So we need something in its place. So we created, so now this became project A and we needed project B. What is this gonna be, right? And so what I had suggested is we make, project B, and I gave you certain options. I did a lecture on anomaly detection, remember? And basically we have this lab, this VPN lab. So what I said is maybe implement this because I didn't give you code, right? I only gave the lecture. So you could implement this in Python, collect some PCAP files, and that's your project. And if you still want to do that, that's great. Or I said, this lab that you complete fully, right? That would still be homework, but then you could extend the VPN lab to hardware, make it more, add something to it. But at this point, that might be a little bit too much. And so instead, what I'm saying now is the following. I'm only making, as part of VPN lab, the homework, right? Only task 2. You guys are looking at the PDF. What was it?
Yes. 3.
It would be task 2, right? 2.
Right. Yeah, I think so.
Let me just confirm that. Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is make task. What is task 1? I'm curious.
It's setting everything up.
So it's the setup of the VMs. I get it now. So basically, tasks 1 and task 2 are the homework now. Building the tunnel. Okay. So let me switch back. Are you guys still seeing my whiteboard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, then tasks 1 and 2 are still homework. They're a lab. Okay. So I'll create the Dropbox tonight. For those of you that have completed this, just submit it. All right. And then, so basically, I'm saying now task 3 of the VPN lab could also be your project. And then on the week before finals, you will do 2 presentations, one of the RCM made up company and one of this topic, which I'm guessing probably a lot of you will just do this. Is this clear now for everyone?
Completely.
Yep.
Completely. Excellent. Trevor, did you understand? Trevor? Okay, he's not. He's probably not. All right, but anyway, so I see Daniel. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that's it then. That let's agree to that. 2 presentations, risk assessment, and then your project. Most likely, a lot of you will do task 3 of the VPN lab. It's possible someone could do the anomaly detection because they had started to do it already and they want to, and that's perfectly fine. So they don't have to do this if they do this. So just pick one. Pick one. Okay, and then for some of you, I think have already completed this. So basically, you're done with all your homework assignments. Okay, and that's it. Let's go with that. And so that at least now you have more time to work on the project, right? You can focus all of next week on it. Next Thursday, what I'm gonna do is the same thing as today. I'm just gonna open up the session as an open lab. I can be there if you want to ask questions, but I'm not gonna lecture. And so the last lecture would be on Tuesday, which will be just wrapping up that TLS. And again, I don't think it'll take the whole time, so you can ask questions. So basically, work on project next week. Okay, that will give you a little bit of more time, more flexibility. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. So it sounds all right. So now, if this is all clear, then please just go ahead and ask questions. If you want to share your VMs, you can do that too.
So if you're ready for me, I have my VMs all fired up.
Okay, go ahead, please.
I think you might have to stop sharing for me to share.
I'm sorry. Okay, I've stopped.
Okay. Yeah. Share thing. Right now you're probably staring at my lab report, which won't help much. Let's see. Pull up all my lovely VMs. Okay. So I've got 3 of them. This one here is the server. I have 2 network cards on them. One of them is 10.0.2.8,
Yes.
which is a NAT interface.
Okay.
Before I started the VM, it's set as NAT. And then this interface is 192.168.60.1, which is a host-only interface.
Okay.
And then host V
Mm-hmm.
here has 192.168.101, and it is also set as a host-only interface.
Okay, good.
And then client is here, and its address is 10.0.2.7, and it is an NAT interface. The states that, so an NAT just like this one on the server.
Right.
So one of the issues I'm having, I noticed, is that, in theory, this should be able to ping that over there.
That's right. That's the first thing you need to test.
And from what I can tell, it can't, and it always bothered me that it couldn't do that.
If that doesn't work, nothing will work.
Because this is before the VPN's even, up.
No, right. I get it. I mean, it's two machines in one switch with the same network ID. They should be able to ping for sure.
And that's confusing. So, but what's interesting though is that the server can ping host V 60.101. So, that works. And then host V over here can ping both sides of the server. At least it used to. Let's see, 168.60.1. So I can ping that. And then it can also ping, at least it did at one point, 2.8. And it can ping that. So it can ping both sides of the server.
10.0.2.7 now?
But it's never been able to do 2.7. Even with the VPN up, it couldn't do it.
So go to the client. Let's go to the client, VPN client. Seems like this one. So this one is client, right? Okay. Can you go to the two on the top right-hand corner, do something first. Do sudo UFW disable, just make sure the firewall's on.
That's what I just asked them.
Oh, okay, yeah. Make sure you would really want to run that command on all machines, right? So sudo
Yeah.
Okay, and then ping again, just for the.
What machine is this? This is the client, right?
Well, the issue right now is just 10.0, the 10.0.2 network, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not the issue. Kill that, please. Open the route table. Just do route, please. -n. Okay. Do route -n. All right. Somebody wrote something here. Is that you or me? Is that your?
That was me chiming in.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that's the routing table. You have, if it goes to 10.0.2.8, you are sending it to ENP0S3. Which interface is that? That's the main one, right?
Yeah, that's the only interface. This
Okay, the only one. Yeah, okay. And then the 10.0.2.8 is also 10.0.2.0. Ian is okay. Do we have config on here, please?
I'm confused about something. What is this? I've never seen it there. That might be maybe.
We're not using that. You know that.
Maybe that's something related to the
That's not a cause to the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is. I've never seen it listed on the thing before. So.
The first
not
time I
using
got it,
those
it didn't
IDs.
display that, but this second time I got it, it did display that.
Okay, so I want to say it's gotta be. Let's see your adapter settings on this client, please.
Let's let's open this. Where's the client? Here's the client. Let's look at this. All right, so network, it's just set on basic NAT. Now, I did not do anything with this, mostly because I thought that's something you do within the VM itself, not something you do here.
Click on the drop down that says attached to. I just want to take a look at it.
I'm sorry, what?
The drop down in the field attached to, yeah. Okay, you have a NAT and you have a NAT network in there. Interesting. Maybe we can try switching it to the NAT network in a second, but let's look now at what the setting is on the VPN server for that network card.
Okay, server. Okay, where is server? Here's server. Oh, dang it. Okay, so the first one is NAT.
Click on it. And it also has that NAT network. I wonder if you just should try, I don't know much about this, and if anyone else has used this video box, virtual box, can you just switch it to NAT network on both?
Okay,
I use NAT network. Can you try just using NAT network instead of NAT?
Okay, I'll probably
On both.
reboot the virtual machine, but that's fine. Right now,
Yeah. So set that to NAT network, and then on the other one, also NAT network. Make sure the things are configured, and then try pinging again.
Okay.
Make sense?
All right. Do you want me to stop share screen for now so that others can ask questions?
Yeah. If you want to try this out and then report back, you can, and then someone else maybe can share their screen. Yeah, I think this could help quite a bit. This approach.
Okay, you got it.
All right. Anyone else? If you want to share your screen, please go ahead.
Okay. Wait. So let me set this up first. Okay, hang on. Let's just okay, this needs to be this guy off. Fix things. Okay, up here. References. Network. Okay. Add. Edit this network. All right. So if you have 10.0.2.0. Okay. Sure. All right. Okay.
Anyone else, guys?
Network.
The one thing that I've noticed while doing this, and especially on the second time, if you've run any of the tunneling and then you stop it, you need to stop both and restart them together. Sometimes even restart the virtual machines.
For the settings to take effect, you mean?
No, not for the settings to take effect, but if you're running the VPN server and client, and then you get it to where they're kind of working, and then they're not, and you stop one of them.
Oh, you know why that is? I know why that is. It's the socket. The socket stays stuck, and the 5555.
Gotcha.
That's the problem. It doesn't unbind. That's a common issue.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and so when you restart it, what's happening is now you're unbinding that 555. The way around that is to use another port, but probably better just to restart.
At this point, yes.
Any questions, guys? Kyle, did you make the changes?
Yes, sir. I'm just,
You got a thing?
they're booting up now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of the machines is taking a little longer to boot up than the other one,
Mhm.
but it'll get there. Okay. Let's see. Oh, wow. Would you look at that? Okay. 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 Speed. This will speed. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, that's something I shouldn't be able to do. Okay. Um, well, now I've got everything pinging.
Okay.
With the exception
So it does ping.
yeah, with the exception of
Okay.
something that shouldn't be able to ping, like from host V
Mm-hmm.
to host.
Want to share again, or what do you want to do?
Well, for now, I think I'm okay.
You want to work on it on your own, you mean? Okay.
Yeah, I want to see how far I can get. If I run into another
Okay.
issue, I'll share screen again and we'll see where
Okay.
I.
It's
Kyle, could you
entirely.
share it? I'd like to see what you did.
Okay, sure.
Since I'm right here watching you, and we're stuck at almost the same spot, that'll help me get out of.
Yep. That go
stuck.
ahead. This is your lap time, so use it.
Alrighty. Can you see
you,
my
dude.
screen, guys?
There we go. There it is. Thank you.
You should be seeing a bunch of virtual machines right now.
Yes, I see a bunch of virtual machines, and it looks like they're all pinging each other, which is beautiful.
Okay,
Oh.
so to show you what I did, it's actually, laughably simple. I wish I tried it earlier. Although I could have swore I did, but maybe I just did something wrong with the routing and that's why it didn't work or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, so the client here, let's see, network. So it's on NAT network.
Mm-hmm.
So to set that up, though, you probably want to know that too. How did you set that up? So, okay.
I saw what you were doing when you were showing it to Professor Calix. So yeah.
So preferences here. So this is global preferences, not just for virtual machine, just for all of them. So network. And then here you have to click this here to add a network, right? And then once it's made, you click what's down here to edit a network.
Uh-huh.
And this is where you specify what you want it to be. So
okay.
I had in here earlier, and actually I think even before I like actually told it to do anything. This was just here. It was just here by default. So I was like, sure, we'll just use it. Why not? I did not do anything with this option here. I just left it like this.
Okay.
And I just hit OK. And then obviously the machines were powered off when I made this change.
Right.
And then after I did that, I just went into, the individual VM settings and, switch the appropriate ones to this, just
Okay.
NAT network, NAT network. Now, mind you, on the server, adapter 2, I stay as host only adapter.
Right.
Using this. I have promiscuous mode on for like all of them just to make things simpler on myself.
Right.
If that caused a problem, I don't want it to, so I just left it as yes, let it. Host V is also a host only adapter thing, also set to promiscuous. To configure the host only stuff, I go here, host network manager.
Okay.
And then this is where you declare that kind of thing. So, that's what I have here. And I just had it. So the quote unquote DHCP server is this. I made sure that it was not 60.1 because if it was, then I couldn't use that for the server. So
Right.
I made sure that wasn't there. And I set the lower address bound as, this, and then upper is this. So that way, host V could use 101 and not be outside the range of IP addresses.
Okay.
So, that's it for that part. Yeah, that's basically what I did. And after that, statically configured everything, but I think you managed to get that far.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've got everybody set up and use pinging server, V's pinging server. They just won't ping each other.
Yeah, I mean, U and V won't ping each other until the tunnel is set up. In theory, if you set it up right.
I did set it up.
But now I guess I'm onto the task of actually setting up the tunnel and seeing if I can do it correctly.
Yeah.
So Kyle, go to client VPN, please.
Here is our client.
All right, ping if config. Do if config. All right, ping 10027, please.
So you want it to ping itself?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, 08. Sorry. Yeah, great. All right, you can reach it now. Kill that. Now ping 192.168.
60.1. 92.168. 60.1.
Okay, great. Now, try to ping 192.168. 60.101.
I mean, in theory, it shouldn't be able to. At least not right now.
It could actually. It could. It depends on what settings you have. Why is this not working in your view?
Well, I would say it's not working right now because I don't have the VPN tunnel set up yet.
No, but it could. I mean, if it could work actually. So you have it by default. If you set everything correctly in the routing, it will work, and then intentionally you have to break that. So my first question to you is, on VPN client, do you have a gateway?
Apparently the gateway is the server.
Yeah, okay, so you do have one. Did you enable the routing on VPN server?
Well, since I haven't told Tune to do anything yet, it's not doing any of that right now.
But there's a command, that command sysctl forward.
Yeah, I mean,
that's for the routing.
Yeah, I know that.
Have you run that one yet?
No, because I haven't tried to.
Oh, okay. Then go ahead and run that one because that needs to be enabled for you to try to ping. So do that.
What is it? IBP.
Are you sure you're typing that correctly?
Oh, probably not. Let's see. need to look at the instructions. How about that? Instructions. Here's the PDF thing. Okay. Okay, there's the syntax I want. Let's pull up my server again and let's see. Sudo sysctl net.ipv4.ip forward equals 1. Okay, so that's up.
All right, so let's say that's enabled right now. Now go back to VPN client and ping the last thing we pinged. So up arrow. Yeah, ping that.
Oh, what the heck?
Are you running this from VPN client?
This is the client, yes.
Okay, excellent. So from VPN client, you can reach V, correct?
Yeah, I've never been able to do that before.
No, that's good though. But I want you to understand. So you're going from VPN client, and now you're able to ping V, which is the one behind the VPN server, right?
Yes.
All right. So what you just did is basically what we had in the course in the physical network as going from switch 2 to switch 3. If you remember, just going through the Cisco 2600 router. That's basically what you got going on right now.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. So now you want to make, so basically the VPN server in this lab is currently the Cisco 2600. Now you want to convert this setup and have it be, instead of the router, be the ASA, okay? Now that means that now you're gonna, instead of going from switch 2 to switch 3 through the router, we wanna create a virtual environment where we go from switch 2 into switch 1 through the ASA. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So the way to do that is there's two options. There's two options, right? One option is you could put ACLs, like, you know, if you remember from 350, we did IP tables, right? You could put, or you can use UFW and you can put some rules on the router, right? On VPN server, and then block all traffic that is trying to go into the 192.168.60 network. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what would create the scenario where now packets can't go in. And then after that, when you run the VPN server code, you open a little port just for VPN. That's basically what the ASA would have done. You see, Did that make sense? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now you could do that, but there's a simpler solution to that. Right? I'm not, if maybe for the project you want to implement that IP tables, but there's a simpler solution. And the solution is go to VPN client now.
Yep, this is what this is. Yep.
There, okay. And go to where you configure the gateway and just remove it. If you remove the gateway from VPN client, you are not going to be able to reach the internal network. And basically packets will be dropped. And then now you will need to have the VPN tunnel to be able to get in there.
So we're gonna look.
And that's it.
So I guess in my hard-coded network settings, I remove the gateway I specified then.
In VPN client, you should have currently a gateway, right?
Yeah, I set it.
It's 10.028. Whenever you ping 192.168.60, right, 6101, it doesn't know that network. So what it does is it sends those packets to 10.028, and from there, that server knows how to get them to the VPN network.
Right, right.
But we want to not be able to ping 192.168.60.101 from here, right? And so there's two ways of doing that. A harder way is to add ACLs on VPN server so that all packets are dropped there. That's exactly how the firewall would work. But the poor man's solution, or the easy solution, is just to remove the gateway here. If you remove the gateway here, whenever you ping 192.168.60.101, it doesn't know where to send the packet.
So if I just leave that blank,
Yes,
will
that's
that
it.
work? Just leave it blank. See what happens.
You leave it blank, and now there's no gateway. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's okay. So now there's no gateway, right? Maybe enable, disable, or something. And now when you try to ping, it shouldn't be able to find it.
Gateway 00000. Let's see. Network unreachable, it says.
So do you see that this is what I'm saying? So now you can't find it.
But it can still ping the server, at least the one.
That's okay. But that's totally okay, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's what we're supposed to have. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you guys see this now? Does it click?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, great. So, you know, what I'm saying is I'm trying to relate this to the physical network that we had. So
This is really helpful.
the gateway, you are going from switch 2 to switch 3 through the router. The second you remove that gateway, we're simulating going from switch 2 into switch 1 because there's no way to get across the VPN server. Removing the gateway is the poor man's solution. The right solution really would have been to leave that gateway there, but to go to VPN server and add IP table rules. And now, so now from VPN client, you can't reach V. Kyle?
Yeah, correct.
You can't. And so now the only way that you will be able to reach V will be by using Tune 0 and VPN client and VPN server and so on.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll actually manage to get this VPN tunnel to work now that the actual original network thing is right.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
I don't think so. I mean, unless everyone else votes that I just keep this up as a live demo, I mean, I guess that's
You
up to
can.
everyone.
I mean, if you want us all to look at this, go ahead. I don't mind.
Por favor.
If it'll help
Yeah, por favor.
everyone else to have this just in live time, mistakes and otherwise, you know.
Yeah, go ahead, Kyle. I mean, I'll post this video on Blackboard. They can, on YouTube. They can look at it.
Okay, I get to hear my voice on YouTube. Awesome.
There you go.
That's being
You'll finally know what you sound like.
I was actually being a little bit sarcastic, but that's fine. Okay. So run the command.
So keep going. Maybe we'll spot some other errors. So go ahead.
Yeah, seems legit. All right, start that running there. Let's open up another terminal.
Is this VPN server?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you need to do the Tune 0, correct?
Yep, gotta set up the Tune 0. Won't get very far without that. Config 0. Three.
Is that correct like that? Yeah, okay.
Yep, I got the PDF right here. Sudo if config
Oh, yeah. All right.
0.
Yeah.
168.53.524/. Password for that. Okay, great. We already did the forwarding. So
On the server.
do that. Now I need the VPN client to be up.
Okay.
Right now it isn't.
Don't you have to configure something on the client?
Well, yes. This I have to have on the client, and
You already ran make on all of these, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've already gone into the code of Isn't it listening? This didn't. Oh, that's why. Because okay. So yeah, switch user. Can I go to my other? There we go. No, okay. CD. There's all my stuff. Okay. Yeah, CD, VPN. Okay, because yeah, I had already
What did you do in VPN client.c? What did you change? Just the server IP?
yeah, I mean that's all I did is I found
What did you set it to?
well, right now it's set up to the wrong thing because I was playing around with
well,
stuff.
yeah, you need to change
I
it
have to
then.
fix that, you know.
Okay, so on this is client. Yeah, client, change that to 10.0.2.8. Okay.
Yeah, now it's correct. Before it wasn't because that was when I was trying to do this earlier and
Okay.
but that's all I changed. I didn't change
No,
anything.
that's right. That's all. Yeah.
I actually looked through the code to make sure, like, do I need to change anything else? And from what I could tell, I did not, so I didn't.
Good. There's somewhere in there. Does it send like a hello somewhere in there?
Yes, it should somewhere up close. Hello here, string lang, hello. Oh, there we go. Care, hello.
If you want, you can change that word hello to your name, like Kyle, and that way you know that client sent that to the server. It's just a way. It's like a check to make sure they're communicating. Up to you. You can just leave it as hello.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. But all right. So save. Now I gotta recompile this thing. That's fine. Let's see.
No, you just run make. You just run make. Type the word make.
No.
No, just the word make.
So make VPN.
Just make.
Well, I don't have that, so I've always done just
Okay.
this. It works for me. So, you know.
Okay.
Client, VPN, client, see. Okay, no compiler errors. That's good. All right, slash.
You've been playing around with enough C as it is.
VPN client. Although I do need to have a slightly different command than earlier. VPN client 10.0. Yeah, 10.0.2.8.
What do you? No, you don't need that because that's already hard coded, right?
Oh well, yeah. In theory, I don't need that anymore. Okay. Ooh, got a packet from Tom.
Now go to server and see if you got the hello on the server side.
Got a packet from Tune. Got a packet from Tune. I haven't run this other command over here yet, so.
Yeah, run on client, right? Run that tune.
All right, I just realized something. Ah, no, I typed that on wrong. That's not right. That's for client. That's server is supposed to have one. Well, actually, it's probably not a huge deal. I can always just reverse them. It's probably not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Okay. That's gonna be confusing. Okay. Well, I think in theory, as long as I make the address for this different than the address of the server that the server is using, it shouldn't be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So mix that up a little bit. Oh well. All right. Okay. Sudo. Oh, that's right. That's running in there. It's really different now. Yeah. Sure, we'll make this 53. Okay, get a packet from Tom. Packet from Tom. Oh, hey, connected to the client. Hello, Kyle. Awesome. Okay. Routing client server. Right, I need to route to
All right, yeah. So now
1.6.
go to your machines, right? Go back to the machines.
Yeah, I need to add a route in server and client for
what?
I need to tell it that when it gets something from, well, actually, no, wait. I need to direct this to tune on here.
Why? For which one? For VPN client?
I think I need to do it for both the VPN client and the server, actually.
No, you only need to do it for VPN client. So think of the logic, right? You are in VPN client. You can only reach the 10.0.2 network, correct? But you want to go to 192.168.60.101. So if you go to the VPN client, please.
Yeah, that's
routing
right.
table. Yes. Okay. Right. So you already have, whenever you create the tune, you can see that the 192.168.53 network is already there. All packets to that get sent to tune 0. So that's taken care of. But if you right now, just before, when we had the gateway, right? If ping 192.168, 6101, it would use the gateway to send it to 10.0.28, and then from there, it would find its destination. Right now, you can't do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you need to do here is you need to add a route that tells it, whenever I want to ping the 192.168.60 network, please send it to tune 0. And that way, it enters the tunnel, goes through the code, goes through the socket, goes out the NAT network, and into the server. And ends up at the tune 0 of the server. And that's it. Now route again, please, route -in. Let's see. So you can see it there, and it's being forwarded to tune 0. There you go, to the start of the tunnel. Perfect.
Okay.
Questions?
This is making a lot of sense now.
Yeah, because we already proved that when we had a gateway, once that packet reached the server, it would get to 101, right? And this time, the packet goes through the tunnel, gets encapsulated in a UDP packet, but when it comes out over there, it ends up in the routing table of VPN server. And from there, it should be able to find the network again. So Kyle, what are you doing now?
Oh, I see. Okay, so this is just their example thing.
Yeah, it's there. That's just to show you the syntax. That's not the right command to type.
Yeah. I figured that out the first time I was doing this too. Okay. Yeah, it only says you need to do this.
Yep.
And it specifies on client. It doesn't say to do that on the server, and it doesn't need to on the server, mostly
That's
because
right.
the server's
Well, you already proved that you don't need to because it worked when we had the gateway on the client, right? It worked.
Yeah. All right. So
now test it again.
Host. Okay.
Go to client, and now you just try to ping 60, right? And it didn't work. Now you have a route that sends those through the ton, and guess what?
Oh, like magic, it works.
And you use your VPN tunnel.
Yeah, it says got a packet from tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And
getting ping, so.
The server also says got a packet from tunnel. From tunnel. It'd probably be more informational if I was actually looking at wire, so I could probably say something like ICMP, something.
Sure.
Okay. The next part of this would be host V, where I need to do a gateway command.
That's right. There's no need for you don't need a route. You can just configure through the GUI a gateway, and I think we had already done that already.
Let's see. All right, so what do I got on this thing? I don't remember. Let's see. What's the if config on this? 6101. Actually. Okay, so it already has.
Yep, that's why it worked. It's already there.
Yeah, so I guess now would be can host. So host U could ping this. We already determined that.
Yes.
So let's see. Whoops, that's the server.
I mean, that's the lab, really. You just have to do this, and then you do this again with Telnet. Oh, there you go. Make sure that host V has the Telnet enabled, which I
It
think
does. It wouldn't give the login if it didn't.
Yeah. So log in, and then when you do an if config there, you will get the IP 192.168.61.01.
Yeah, probably typed it wrong, evidently. Yeah, why are you in plain text now? Because it's Telnet, that's why. Anyway. I'm gonna have to change all my passwords. Anyway. Okay, fine. Let's try this again.
You put your password in your username, dude.
No, it's not. That's the one that I used to log into it literally like a second ago.
Isn't that a CVM host V? I mean, can't you just use seed and Ds?
No, it's not a
Okay. Remember that for the OpenSSL part, you're gonna have to use seed so that it has all the libraries in there.
okay. Wait, was it on OS boxes? Yeah, virtually. I think it was. But that's not what the thing says anymore. Oh, well, apparently you'll take that. Okay. Well,
All right, so great. So you're in. So if you do if config here, there you go. See, that's good job. That's it. You're done.
yeah, I just did the lab. Now I just need to, document and,
Yeah, document it.
report and all that.
But great job.
Oh.
Woohoo, dude.
That completes the lab, that part of the lab for you guys. And then I'll post this video on YouTube so you can watch it again if you have questions. Did it make sense for everyone, Ting?
Oh yeah, that helped a lot.
Yeah, Susanna and
It
everyone
was
else
good to
there?
see how to do the networking on the that virtual host. I can't remember what it's called.
Virtual box? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I can finally finish this silly thing.
And you can actually do it in VirtualBox. I just proved it.
Yeah, you did.
I don't need to use VMware.
Well, after all that time I spent making sure I had the license again for VMware, oh jeez.
I had similar issues with VMware though.
Yeah, so I mean, well, thank you, Professor, for suggesting why don't you try NAT network instead of just general NAT? Because if you hadn't suggested that, I don't think I would get this done, honestly.
Yeah, I'm glad. So, it's done. As you can see, it's actually pretty straightforward. It's just, the virtualization, that's why the hardware is a little bit easier in that sense. Everything's more obvious. With virtualization, it's little things like that.
Yeah, it is a lot more obvious when you sit there and you think about how the machines were actually connected. Then it makes sense to me. When I see hardware, it makes sense to me. Looking at these screens, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, no, I know that. I know that it's not so obvious with 3 VMs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but online. So.
Yeah.
All right. So, are there any other questions, guys? About
No, that was fantastic.
or anything else? Yeah, this worked out nice, I think, actually we can do some lab time like this, so.
That was absolutely, that helped so much because he was stuck at just about the same spot I was, so that's perfect.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to change all my passwords now because you just saw one of the passwords I actually used for some of the actual.
Kyle, do you know how
All
many
right, stop
passwords I see?
talking, Kyle, because this is gonna go on YouTube, so.
Yeah.
It'll change, but.
Yep.
You know.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Professor, I got a question about
Yes,
the
go ahead.
VPN
Go ahead,
TLS.
please. Yeah, go ahead.
The code that you're wanting us to identify where it's doing which different parts of the confidentiality and all that authentication and all that sort of stuff. Are you wanting on both the client and the server, or just one?
Just one, really.
Okay.
It's going to be the client, right? The main one is the client authenticating that server, right? Because it's
Okay.
you
That's what I needed.
going to your bank, right? And so that's kind of critical that you do that correctly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that should be fine. All right, guys. So are there any other questions? All right. If there are no further questions, then I'll stay here for a little while longer. But we can end the lab session today. So I think it was really productive. Thanks to Kyle. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to again just our last lecture, right, which is wrapping up the definitions of TLS. And then after that, Thursday, again, just open lab. Remember, now you're just finishing up this VPN, doing some encryption, and that can be your project. So that's perfectly fine. And then, so don't forget presentations the week before finals on the RCM and your project topic. And then, and then finally the final exam, and we're done for the semester. You can have a little bit of rest. All right, so we'll stop here for today, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Professor?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm sorry, I have a question, and it's for another class. It's for 372. Should I just email you, or can I ask you now?
You can ask now.
Okay, for the Wireshark.
For which class, I'm sorry?
372.
Oh, 372, yeah, go ahead.
It's for the Wireshark. I don't see a Dropbox anywhere for the second SNMP lab.
Oh, for the web SNMP, there's no Dropbox, you said?
I didn't see it.
Okay, can you send me an email about it? And that's actually the most efficient way, and I'll just answer
that's what I was at. Okay.
after I open it.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday.
All right. Bye. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you.